All right, so let's take a look at the phase change gizmo. One thing I want to point out is that when we look at the gizmo itself, be aware of the units. Our temperature is measured in degrees Celsius. And so when we want to add energy or take energy away, it's adding heat to the system, we use this add or remove heat button, which is measured in joules per second. It's just a unit for heat. You don't have to know that, but just simply know that by removing heat, you see it's negative, adding heat, it's positive. Put it on 0, it's going to stay the same. Then likely, what else I like to do is point out the molecular speeds down here. Notice that. That's how fast the molecules are moving itself. And when you click on micro view, you'll see that you have these reddish dots with white balls on the outside. Those are water molecules, as you can see. It's H2O, so there's one molecule of oxygen and then 2 molecules of hydrogen on the outside, 2 atoms, I should say, joined up with that. Up here, we have oxygen molecules. It's O2. Here's water vapor right there. And then here is nitrogen gas. It's N2. Nitrogen gas is the most prevalent gas in our atmosphere. So anyways, in the gizmo itself, when we back up here, some questions that they ask you are to observe what temperatures that a substance is going to freeze, melt, boil, etc. And then notice, what do you notice about the temperature change while going through these stages here? So if you look at the gizmo itself, what we'll do is we'll put it right here in micro view. Micro, macro doesn't really matter. And if we just let it play by itself, the water temperature at 0, there's no energy being added into the phase. Nothing's changing. It just stays the same. So if I want to observe freezing here, I got to take away some energy from the system. Here, I'll do that. Let's make that full screen. And notice it's freezing right now. It's going from this, with a macro view, liquid to a solid. Notice the temperature is not changing. Look at the graph. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here on the graph. And you can see that the temperature is not changing at all. And look at the volume of ice, it's increasing. And now the temperature is dropped. It's dropping now that we're actually in the freezing stage. And so we're beyond the phase change. So when we were changing the phase, when we were going through a phase change itself from a liquid to a solid, let's back out of here, a liquid to a solid, the temperature did not change at all. It stayed the same. Now let me go ahead and I want to see if I can back out of there. Let's go ahead and take it from a solid to a liquid. And so let's change the temperature. Let's increase it now. Go back to this chart here and hit play. Watch the temperature over here. As it's getting warmer, it's going from -60. And then let's watch the graph as we see this happening. So the temperature is increasing. It's increasing. It's increasing. 0 degrees Celsius. And now look, the liquid is melting. The solid ice is melting into a liquid. And notice the temperature does not change. It stays the same. It's going through a phase change, and the temperature will not change. Now, once we get all of this ice melted, I want you to look down here and see what happens and pay attention to your graph over here. So we're almost there, and then boom, we're done. All the ice is melted. We're in a liquid. And see how the temperature is going up. So as we are going through a phase change, the temperature will not change. Now notice the temperature here, as it's rising, pay attention to the substance here very closely and wait till you see some bubbles start to form. Once we get to our boiling phase, and look at the temperature down here closely. And here we go. It stays the same right now. And look, the curve flattened out. And we have some bubbles forming, and the substance is boiling here. So please pay attention as you notice when it goes through phase changes itself. While you're going through a phase change, the temperature will not change. It stays the same. All that energy is put into the phase change. And now you can see as it's boiling, the volume of water is decreasing because that liquid water is now going into the air. And that's how the molecules are moving. You can see gas molecules pop out of there as it goes from a liquid to a gas. Okay, so that's basically the run on the gizmo. Let me know if you have questions. Hopefully that helps.